fellow book lovers, welcome back to another video. Today I would love to talk about all the goals that I have in reading and booktube for the year of 2023. There are less than 2 weeks to go for this year. The new year is coming and I am a massive fan of goal making. I do love to do a vision board every year, but I thought I would also do a dedicated video on this channel to like my reading plans and my booktube plans for next year, just to hold myself a bit more accountable. Nothing too unrealistic, nothing that is too ambitious, so they are going to be just minor goals, but I love to talk about those. So let's just start with something very basic here, and that is my goal of reading books. My overall reading goal next year is going to be a bit higher than this year's. This year's was 100 books and I exceeded that mainly because I allowed myself to read more manga. So next year I would love to read 150 books. So I do want to keep on challenging myself because I feel like there's still room to push, you know. One thing I will change from my prediction last year is the page count. I think last year I wanted to get above 300 pages on average, but right now I feel like that was kind of an unhealthy mindset because it would push me to read thicker books but also expect me to read more, and that is just not doable, especially when I read a lot of manga that is part of series, and those like usually 200 page long mangas, so it's gonna drag my statistics down and I just don't want to pressure myself that much. I've also, by the way, privated the video of last year with my reading goals just because I felt like the goals I had were unrealistic and setting way too high standards, and I felt like whenever somebody would stumble over this video it would maybe influence them in a bad way or make them feel like, oh, they were not reading enough or something like that. Well, I was making goals that were just honestly not feasible. So I mean, okay, let's talk about the genres that I would love to read next year. I would love to continue with manga, as I said. I would also love to continue going down the route of horror. I enjoyed it so much this year. The only thing I've probably not explicitly talked about is my interest in contemporary, especially Japanese contemporary literature. Those three genres are probably the genres that are just read most by me, so I don't feel like it's going to be a particular challenge to read more of those. I think I would love to add a challenge, however, which is like a loosely challenge, just an optional thing if I can manage to do it. So each month I would love to read a new release of one of those genres. So either a manga, a horror, or contemporary. It doesn't have to be Japanese contemporary, but just something that got released in 2023. Not necessarily in the month that I'm reading it at, because, you know, I am from Austria, so it's sometimes really hard for me to get new releases, but just something from 2023 to make my content maybe a bit more relevant overall. But I don't know, this is just a side challenge, so I would be happy if I can do it. And January is going to be hard, I already know that. I would also love to next year DNF more. I have made this my goal for this year as well, and I kind of succeeded. I think I've DNF'd around 5 books or something. We're gonna talk about it also in another video, but there could have been more. I stuck with some books that were definitely not for me, and I knew it as soon as I was like a decent amount into it and I still kept going. And I think that I shouldn't do that. Booktube is just one of those things that I just do out of plain fun for the thing itself, and I don't want to make it more stress than it needs to be. Okay, let's talk about Booktube, all the video content that I would love to do next year. Let's also start with the most general thing. I would love to post more videos. I have posted 28 videos in the year of 2022 so far. This is going to be my 29th, and maybe there's going to be one more. So maybe 30 videos in 2022, which, oh my god, sounds like a lot for me. I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. But just to come back to my very unrealistic goals of last year, I wanted to film 50 videos, which, considering that a year has 52 weeks, it's just an insane amount of workload additional to the things that I do, which is, it's just not doable for me. So I would love to still push myself. but still make it more realistic. Since this summer, I've started to consistently upload to this channel and try to post a video once a week, if not once every 10 days, something like that. And it kind of worked out. I just had to be a bit more creative with the content that I wanted to do. And I actually think that this is like a good thing. It's pushing me in a sense of making me think about things that I can film or new topics that I could add to my channel. So in order to make this more realistic but still push myself, I think I would love to film 40 videos for next year. Maybe this is a bit too ambitious. It's only 10 less than my last year's goal, which, you know, I completely failed. It's 10 more than this year's amount of videos I posted, but I feel like I could achieve it. Still, I realized that this may be one of the goals that are prone to failure, but still, I want to put it out there. This is what I feel comfortable with at the moment. I feel like I am in a drive, like I feel I established a routine in uploading. It still takes me a lot of effort to film, however, because I do have perfectionist tendencies, so I tend to say sentences over and over again that I just fail to say it the first time, and therefore it takes me forever to film and also to cut. Anyways, there are 2 months I should point out in which I will not be able to post as many videos, if at all, just because one of them is right at the beginning. So maybe you will watch this video and then observe January and see like, oh, this girl hasn't posted, she's not keeping up to her promises. January in Austria is exam month, and that is the month where I'm always so busy with like studying for exams and writing reports or thesis. So this is why this girl is probably taking off 2 to 3 weeks in January just to accomplish my academic goals. I do really would like to finally get my bachelor's degree in psychology, you know what I'm saying? Just gonna move on to the next month that I will probably not post a lot of videos, which is May, because in May I'm going to Japan for 3 weeks. And because I want to be really realistic and honest with myself, I know that I'm probably not going to film anything in Japan. I really want to take the time, appreciate me being there, like taking it all in and experiencing the journey, and not thinking about anything that I have to do, any obligations, not thinking about what I need to read. Probably I'm also not going to read a lot because there are going to be other things that I'm going to be more interested in. So this is going to be also a time where I already know I'm going to post less than I would love to on a regular basis when everything is going normal. Now when it comes to the content that I want to make on this channel, now there are 3 videos that I would love to do next year that I have not attempted to do this year, which I have kind of in my head already tried to sketch out, and I just think would be fun. So one thing I would honestly extremely love to do is a horror recommendation video in October. I wanted to do this for the past 2 years, but I always felt like I have not read enough horror to do one of those videos. But maybe in October I finally gain enough confidence and have read enough to do like one of those recommendation videos. So this is one of my goals. And also I love challenges. I freaking love challenges. If you don't know by now, by me doing this like kind of goals for next year video. But I also would love to do more reading challenges and release them in like little vlog series. So there are 2 challenges that I already know that I would love to participate in next year. One of them, obviously, if you have followed me, is going to be the Buzzwordathon by Kayla, which I'm going to like link the announcement video in my description if you're interested to participate yourself. This is like a year-long readathon where every month you get like a word, and the word must be represented in some way in the title of the book that you're reading, and I would love to do sort of a reading vlog around that. You will see if I failed or succeeded at the end of next year, so it's really gonna take me a while, but this is one plan that I have. Another challenge that I would love to participate in, and is probably also more feasible in like a short-term sense, is the Storygraphs onboarding reading challenge. I would honestly love to switch my focus from Goodreads to Storygraph more, but it's still hard for me to kind of step away from Goodreads completely, just because I know it's the most popular platform, so all the things are happening there. I also have tracked my reading there longer than I did on Storygraph, so I kind of also don't want to lose this data. I also have friends there that I follow. So there are some things that definitely keep me there, but maybe, who knows, someday I will succeed in switching completely over to Storygraph. And me participating in the onboarding challenge next year, hopefully, is also going to maybe broaden my knowledge about the app, so I can have a better comparison between those two apps and maybe some more arguments to convince myself to switch over completely. Okay, so that was all of my goals for next year's reading and video making. And because I am a person that really enjoys goal making and is really curious about other people's goals, I would love to hear what your New Year's resolutions in reading, but also maybe in general are. If you want to share, if you even have those. But as for now, I wish you a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at another time in another video.